You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. We're joined on the telephone. We're going to be talking and updating you all about the Dockyard Church. We're going to be joined with Will. As always, it's great to have you back on the show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Daniel, for having me on the show again.
Well, I was hoping before we move on to the areas we're going to cover, if you could just introduce our listeners into the trust and what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm the chair of the Sheerness Dockyard Preservation Trust, and we were set up a couple of years ago to campaign for and actively engage in the conservation and restoration of the historic buildings in and around Sheerness Dockyard. And our first project is Dockyard Church, that wonderful classical building at the entrance to the commercial port, which has been very sad and derelict for over 10 years since there was a fire in 2001. And that is the focus of our efforts at the moment.
I understand that the really good news is that you've now been awarded the funding you've been waiting for. Yeah,
it's rather amazing news. We've been working for the last 2 years. In fact, even before that, we were planning and working out how we're going to raise the large amount of money needed for the church. And we put in a heritage lottery bid in December. And we have heard we have been successful, which is wonderful news. And the grant that they have ring-fenced for us is £4.75 million. So a huge success, and really now the project is all go.
I was going to ask, what will this allow you to do?
Well, the project is a two-stage project because that's how the lottery funding works. We get £500,000, first of all, to develop our plans for the church, which we have developed up to a certain stage, but now we need to refine, and we need to get all our professional team appointed, our architects, our quantity surveyors, all those kind of people. And also we need to raise some match funding as well to allow the project to move to the delivery stage, which is the actual work itself. But running parallel to that, I'm pleased to say we're also about to embark on actual repairs to the building. We've had a separate grant from Historic England, and that's been supplemented with some money from the lottery. And that's about £200,000 worth of urgent works, which will start probably towards the end of July this year.
And it must feel nice that now things are hopefully a lot more secure, because obviously you've been working on the project for a long time, and now there should be a definite future for it.
Yeah, the only hope for this church was a huge amount of money from a source such as the lottery, because obviously a restoration of this size is very expensive. It isn't viable as a commercial project, so you need some pump priming, and the getting lottery money has always been our objective, and we are up against very stiff competition with the other projects applications to the lottery, but apparently our project scored full marks. They loved it, and they are really excited about it. So it shows all the hard work paid off in making sure that our bid and indeed our vision for the church was good, and that's really satisfying.
So how long are you hoping it's going to take now you've got this funding?
We have up to 2 years to complete the preparations for the work itself, but we'd hope to finish that sooner, within a year or so. If we motor ahead and we get our match funding, we are looking at starting the delivery phase towards the end of next year. So And that's when the project in earnest will start. But as I said, before then, there will be scaffolding going up and there'll be repairs to keep the building safe and secure in the meantime.
Now, one of the things you've been doing recently, I think, is getting people to let you know about their memories. I think you've been working with the local school on that as well. How's that been going?
Yeah, this is a project which is being run by our outreach officer, Alison Young, with some generous funding from the Queenborough Fisheries Trust. And it's called Tales of Dockyard Church. And it's a project to, as you said, gather people's memories. There's obviously a huge number of people on the island, or indeed sometimes who've moved far away from the island that have memories and have had associations with the church. And Alison has been working with the Oasis Academy and University of Kent in a project to encourage people to come forward and share these memories. And there's been a couple of open days, I think, held last week that were very successful, and the project continues.
Well, I know that's one of the sort of sides I think that's important to you is, as well as the building now getting renovated and redone, is to get people involved. And I assume these projects are a way of people learning about it and feeling part of it as it progresses.
Yeah, that's incredibly important. This is a building that belongs to everybody on the island, and we need to make sure that those community links are retained and strengthened throughout this project. And there's lots of opportunities here to engage people, not just in terms of the work that Alison's doing, but also the training and the actual skills that go towards restoring a building. And we are looking at lots of ways to engage people in that project. And then, of course, when the church is finished, one of the big components of our whole scheme is to have an enterprise centre as part of the church, which will include a provision for young people to have business support and start their own businesses. So this is a way of really helping to regenerate the island economy.
Was there anything else you'd like to get over to our listeners or let them know about from this funding?
Only to say that we still have money to raise. We have a big fundraising target still of about 3 million to raise over the next year or so. So if anyone feels like helping us, go to our website, which is Sheerness Dockyard TT for Preservation Trust. .org.uk, and you can make a donation there, and indeed you can also find out more about what we're doing. And we hope to reopen the church for open days later in the year once the urgent works have been carried out.
Well, if you're happy we've covered everything, I'd like to thank you very much once again for joining us here at BRFM Bridge Radio on the Daniel Monday Night Community Show.
Thank you, Daniel, and it's great to be able to give your listeners an update on the project.